Hey there! Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at Mafia, a deal signed in blood and fear. This is a 2002 video game, and it's actually the second game in the Mafia franchise. Though when you look at it, it does kind of look like the first Mafia. So they decided to make a third one that looks a little bit different. It was Mafia 3. But this is Mafia 2. It has a very similar style to this game. And these two games were made by two different companies, although they do share a lot of similarities. One of them is holding a Tommy gun, and the other one has his hand up in the air like he just robbed a store or something. On the back, we have a few more screenshots from the game. And if you look closely, you can see that the character on the left is holding a Thompson, which is an actual submachine gun used during the Prohibition era. Hence the 1930s style setting for this game. But of course, you get sucked into the Mafia world, and that's why you have to commit crimes. I'm not going to spoil anything else, but there are quite a few interesting characters in this game, such as a hitman who's also blind, and a guy who has a very thick Brooklyn accent. And as you can see, the graphics, while impressive for 2002, do not hold up well to today's standards. And if you notice, there's also an option for a multiplayer deathmatch. So yes, this game did actually have a multiplayer mode. Now I'm not sure if this is playable in 2022, I haven't tried it yet. When you're driving, the same thing happens. As you get further away from a pedestrian that will start to fade out, it's very cool. In most games, the longer you stay away from the cops, the less wanted you become. However, in this game, the only way to get rid of the wanted level is to pay a bribe. If your wanted level gets too high, you will be arrested and then you lose the game. If any of you know, please let me know in the comments below. So this makes it very difficult to get away from them. What I recommend doing is turning off the main road and then driving into town. Usually you can shake them off there. And the reason I say may is because if you crash into a body of water, your car will usually explode and then you die. But this was one of the most unexpected endings for a Mafia game ever. The gameplay is somewhat repetitive, and the AI is also not very good. But on the bright side, the story is really good for a Mafia game, and the voice acting is also really good. But anyways, that is all I have for this video. Let me know your thoughts about this game in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe. So make sure to play it for yourself to find out what happens. You have your regular punch and kick combo, but you can also carry a knife with you, and you can use that to stab someone multiple times. And of course, you can also draw your firearm and shoot someone. Sometimes when you get out of your car, you'll be given the choice to either walk or drive. So you'll be able to steal cars, but of course you need to find a garage in order to store them, the amount of cars that you can buy. It's called a 1934 Ford 5-window coupe. Then you have a 1937 Chevrolet Master Deluxe. And if you want to be really fancy, you can purchase a 1936 Chrysler Airflow. If you walk, you can interact with NPCs, and sometimes you'll even get cutscenes. But this game is still really fun today. It's definitely worth playing. And when you exit the car, you will exit from the other side. And this was actually a very common practice during the Prohibition era, because if you got into a car from the front, everyone inside the car would be sitting ducks for anyone who might be waiting around to ambush you. So in order to protect yourself, you would always want to get into the car from the back and then exit from the front once you reached your destination. Of course, I went with the illegal option. This is where your driving skills come into play. But as you progress through the game, these dialogue boxes will become much more common. Also, you will eventually be able to hire a driver, so you do want to have to worry about driving as much. So I don't think my driving skills are too bad. That was not very good at all. Okay, there we go. This is the collector's edition. There is also a pretty cool booklet here, with some screenshots from the game and a couple of concept art pieces. And I really like how the developers showed the title of the game in the reflection of the puddles. And then under all of that, we have the CD. The collector's edition also came with a figurine, which I don't have. And the original cost for this edition was $99. In fact, let's take a look at the box here. And so, this was released about 2 months after Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, which is another game you should check out if you haven't already. The cover art shows two guys walking down an alleyway together. When you start up the game, it takes you to this menu, which is pretty standard for the time period. You can also change the resolution and set it to full screen here. These options are all accessed through the keyboard. And then there is also a configuration menu where you can change things, like your controls and your audio settings. After clicking New Game, you will see this splash screen. As far as the story goes, you play as a guy named Tommy Angelo, who is a chauffeur by trade. So let's go ahead and start a new game. You can choose between 3 different difficulty levels. I'm going to go with medium. At the very beginning of the game, you have the opportunity to make an illegal left turn. Now your character will comment on things that are happening on the radio or things that you see around you. If you get into a car accident, you may lose some health. In order to regain health, you need to find a pharmacy. Now this is a pretty nice attention to detail, but when you're walking around, the further away you get from your car, the more the car icon will start to fade away. There are also wanted levels in this game, but they work a little bit differently than they do in other games. Also, the cops in this game are relentless. They won't stop chasing you, no matter what. The combat is also fairly simple. Now there are quite a few different weapons in this game, such as a sawed-off shotgun, a Thompson, a regular pistol, a sniper rifle, and grenades. Now I really like this next feature. When you purchase a garage, you will be able to upgrade it over time, which increases the carrying capacity. So let's take a look at some of the different cars that you can buy. This is the cheapest car in the game. Now the coolest part about the cars is that if you enter them from the passenger side, you will enter them backwards. But anyways, this is the ending of the game, and I'm not going to say anything. Overall, I give this game an 8 out of 10. The graphics do not hold up well to today's standards,